Hey guys, something a little bit different on the channel today. Recently, I saw this Ninja Foodi Possible cooker, and it intrigued me because we have a slow cooker. We use it a lot to make chilies, stews, things like that. But this one intrigued me because of its popularity and the reviews it had got. So I thought we'd get one and unbox it, show you it, explain through the video a few of the things it can do and why it's different to a standard slow cooker. I'll let you into a little secret. I thought that there would be, as there usually is within Ninja products, a box within a box. I thought that there'd be a fancier box inside this cardboard one. So I opened the cardboard one thinking that there'd be a box inside. And then when I got inside, I realized this is actually the box. So it's quite big, isn't it? So it comes with a recipe book, as a lot of the Ninja products do. We've got the soup maker. We've reviewed that on the channel. We've got air fryers. We've got reviews of those on the channel. But this is the Ninja Foodi Possible cooker. Funny name there, isn't it? Possible cooker. So yeah, it's got lots of different recipes. I'll just flick you through a few of those. So these are some of the things it can do. It says it can slow cook, sear, saute, steam, braise, simmer, bake, prove, and then it can just keep stuff warm as well. But one of the selling functions on it is that the main unit, which we'll show you in a second, can actually be removed, so that the ceramic element, and put in the oven. So you can like sear and saute and braise things in there, then slow cooking it. And if you need to put it in the oven as well, you can lift it out and put it in the oven. But we'll show you that in a second. There's lots of getting started tips there and lots of different recipes to look at. But let's get it out and take a look. So if we have a look in the top here, I know some people use these unboxings to rebox them and sell them on, don't they? So I'll show you how it's all packaged up. So we've got the lid here. Yeah, that's got the handle down. We went for the Amazon version, by the way. There's an Amazon exclusive colour, like a stone colour, and it's got this gold coloured lid. But yeah, I'll pop a link in the description to that one because that was exclusive to Amazon. Then we've got slotting in there on the cardboard. We've got the spoon that it comes with, like a ladle slash spoon made of plastic. We can see it's got some indentations there as well, and a lip there to pour out of. So it's a multifunctional spoon, isn't it? The plug is neatly sitting in the bottom right hand corner there, so I'll remove that, and then we'll get this big piece of cardboard out, and then we're revealing the unit a little bit more, aren't we? That's wrapped up. I'll give you the first look. Oh, what's inside here? What's this? What is that? An apron. Is it an apron? Yeah, didn't expect that. A Ninja Foodi apron. Look good on me, that. Then there's another little bag inside, little paper bag. What's inside this one? Yeah, apparently this is a pair of silicone oven mitts. Two, one inside the other. So that's good. That'll keep you from getting sore hands, won't it? Yeah, I've often said I've got big hands on the channel. I don't know if they'll fit me. I don't know. Let's have a look. Just about. Yeah, I think you're going to be grateful to me if you're trying to rebox this, because there's never-ending amount of goodies in here, isn't there? And this is the steaming rack, I think. Get it open. Oh, so there's a bit of cardboard in there. Sitting inside the cardboard is the steaming rack. So that will obviously sit inside, won't it, to steam vegetables and things. Just a quick point of note, if you're wondering why there's a hole here, well, it's to actually sit this spoon in. So yeah, that sits nicely in there. And then I think we've just got the big bulky unit to get out, but I might get it out in two pieces, you know, just to make it easier to handle. As I said, this dish does remove, the ceramic dish. I thought it was quite a nice colour, quite neutral, isn't it? It'll match a lot of kitchens, you would think. And it's got like a little protective layer there that we're going to have to take off. And of course, there's a non-stick coating on the inside. That's metal. And then finally, the really big unit itself. I might need to do this in two stages. There's nothing else underneath. If we look in the box now, that's the box empty. And I'll just get rid of this and I'll show you the cooking unit. Yeah, so we just remove that out of the packaging. And then we get the big reveal, don't we? The other way around. Of the Ninja Possible cooker. Quite a big unit. We'll give you some dimensions in a minute as well. We hopefully will use it for a while and come back with a full review. So do subscribe if you're interested in this and you want to see a little bit more in the future, a bit more info. But we'll include as much as we can in this video too, because it may take us a while to really get to grips with it and come back with a proper review. So yeah, just to run down how it all fits together. So this goes inside the main base unit here. That sits in there. When you're using it, you've got your steaming tray. That then sits inside again. The lid will then go on top. I'm guessing it doesn't matter whether this hole is at the front or at the back. Yeah, we'll probably put this bit at the back so that the steam doesn't come up into our face when we're cooking. And then this, as we mentioned earlier, the spoon can just sit neatly on top in this little gap there. So I'd imagine we'll probably need to wash it out before we do a first use on it. We are going to bake a beef stew in it today just to see how it works and how it compares to the slow cooker that we have, because as I say, we are avid slow cooker users. But it's set up quite like an air fryer, isn't it? So we've got the buttons, we've got the temperature settings, we've got a time setting, and then we've got a dial to control which setting you are using to actually cook with. But we'll get it plugged in, show you it all lit up, and then we'll get it washed out, ready for first use. I'm actually, just for a second, going to take this steaming tray out because it is rattling a little bit. It's doing my head in, if I'm being honest. But yeah, let's pop that back on now. As I say, we're going to be slow cookering something today, not steaming it. So let's see if we can wake it up, see what it looks like turned on. But yeah, let's have a look. What happens if we turn these buttons here? So you can see it's flicking there between slow cook, saute, steam, braise. Back over this side for simmer, bake, prove, and keep warm. Yeah, set up quite like an air fryer, isn't it? The buttons seem similar. So we'll get it washed out. We'll come back and we'll cook a beef stew in it and see how it fares. Yeah, so there was some information on here before first use that I found quite interesting. So it says to obviously remove all the stickers and packaging and things, but it does say that you have to position it, provide at least 6 inches or 15 centimetres of space above and on all sides for adequate air circulation. And then it says wipe the main unit and control panel with a damp cloth. Never submerge the main unit in water. That's what this is, the bit we're talking about here, the main unit. Never put that in water. You just use a damp cloth on that. Wash the cooking pot lid, spoon ladle and steam rack in warm soapy water, then dry thoroughly. And then it also says we recommend turning the unit on and running it for 10 minutes without adding food. Make sure the area is ventilated. Yeah, so we'll do all that now. We'll go and get it washed out. I mean, that's good information to have, isn't it? So before we get on with the recipe, I am interested to hear your comments though. What do you think of the design of it? Do you like the look of it? What do you think of the colour? Don't forget, Amazon exclusive. I'll leave a link in the description. That's the stone gold colour. And this is the 8-in-1 Ninja Possible Cooker. Link in description. Just some of the benefits as well. So you could got oven safe pot up to 260 degrees C. So you can add a pastry top to your stew and casserole and finish off in a conventional oven. And you can also serve straight from the pot with this. I'm showing you that bit. I just thought you'd like to see a few more of the recipes as well. So there's steak and ale pie here, look. A bit of a closer look at this. Braised beef in red wine with root vegetables. Pot roast pork with peppers. Creamy chicken casserole. This is just some of the recipes. There's about 7 in this book. 3-bean chili. Butternut squash risotto. Carrot and coriander soup. And this, I like the look of this meat. Rosemary and sea salt focaccia. They're not all really long recipes, you see. This one's got a prep time of 10 minutes, approved time of 1 hour, and then a cooking time of 18 minutes. And I've read this unit is the 8-litre version. I've read that it can serve up to 8 people at once. So that's good to know. And then a lovely chocolate sponge pudding at the end. Yeah, there's a steam chart as well to show you all of your steaming times for various foods and the size of foods.
Okay, so before we start using the Ninja Possible Cooker for any sort of food, it does recommend that we run it for 10 minutes without any food inside, just to sort of release any odors or anything like that that might be inside it. We've washed the cook pot, the lid, the spoon in warm soapy water, dried it all out. So we'll turn it on. I think we'll go down to the saute, press start, and then hopefully we can run this for 10 minutes and then we can get cooking. Right, so it looks like it's doing something. So we'll come back in 10 minutes and hopefully that should be done. Yeah, so we can see by looking on the lid here that it's definitely heating up nicely. It's cooking away whatever's left in there. And yeah, so I think what's going on here is that I'm assuming with saute, maybe we can't adjust the temperature or the time. And this is just showing you how long it's been on for. That's all I can assume. I'll have a little look into the manual and see if it says anything. Okay, so when you select the sear and saute, you have the option of high or low, which we saw at the beginning. I actually thought it was saying high because I just turned the machine on. So that was selecting the temperature. So this is on the high setting. We can see that steam's coming out. It's cooking up nicely. So it's working well. Right, okay, so we thought that we'd try something that we've cooked lots of times in our own slow cooker, which is just a really simple beef stew. So we've got here 700 grams of diced beef. We've got some chopped onion, chopped celery, carrots, some stock pots, Worcester sauce, our herbs. We've got some thyme and bay leaves, and a bit of oil for cooking. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to coat the beef in a tablespoon of plain flour just to help it thicken the sauce and help the beef to get a nice texture. Right, so I've got the flour in. I'm just going to mix it up, coat all of that beef. Now, usually I would probably salt the beef now, but because we're adding 2 stock pots, I'm not going to, because I think that they're pretty salty, aren't they, unless you get the reduced salt ones, but that's not what we've got today. So right, that's coated, so we'll pop the lid on there. I'm gonna turn it down to saute. So if I press, right, so if you press the arrow down, you've got a low temperature setting for saute and high. I'm going to go on high because I want this cooking relatively quickly. So I'm going to add the oil, and then I'm going to add this beef. So usually when I do this in my slow cooker, this is the bit that I do on the hob in a pan, browning off the meat and the veg and stuff before it goes into the slow cooker. So this is where this Possible cooker should really save a lot on washing and just messing around, really. To be able to do it all in one pot, I think is really clever. So I'm going to pop the lid on and we're just going to let that cook away for a bit. Pop the spoon on there. I'm just going to keep checking, use the spoon, give it a stir every now and then. But yeah, let's press start. So you can hear it sizzling away really nicely. And if we have a look on top, you can see it bubbling away there. So it's obviously a non-stick pan, so you've got to make sure you use a plastic or wooden spoon or ladle. The one that they've provided obviously works really well, but you can see it's all browning off really nicely. So we'll let that continue to cook for a bit longer. Right, so let's have a little look inside, see how it's cooking. I mean, that has been browned off pretty quickly, hasn't it? All right, okay, so it's saying now to add food. So that was probably, this is probably the temperature then that it gets to with the preheat. So that's good that it gives you like a notification when to add food. But I mean, that's done amazing. If that was just gearing up for the correct temperature, that's worked really well, hasn't it? So what I'm going to do now is I will remove the beef, and then I will add the onions and celery and carrots and just give them a bit of a saute before we turn it into the slow cooker section, right? So let's get all of this nice beef. So I mean, the spoon, it is actually really good for not bringing out up all of the juices with a little slotted side. Try and get these last few bits. Right, so I'll just pop that down here to rest. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to clean that out and put fresh oil in, because I think it's nice to have the onions, the celery and the carrots all cooking in the beef juices. I think it just helps add to the flavour, and also it just saves the job, doesn't it? The carrots have been washed and chopped into chunks. I've not peeled them because, well, most of the goodness really is just below the skin, isn't it? So if I can, I do try and keep the skin on. So I'll just give that a nice stir. I'll pop the lid on and let that cook for a bit. Okay, so what I've come to learn is these little lines that are coming up is the preheat section. So once all of those lines are steady, it's then at the set high temperature for sear and saute. And then it says that's when it's time to add food and stuff. So that's what these symbols mean. Okay, so we'll have a little look now, see how the veg is getting on. I mean, I think that's cooking really nicely. Nothing is burning on. Everything's moving around really well. There's no sticking going on. I'm really pleased with that. We'll just give it a few more minutes. I think that's been about 5 minutes of the sauté for the vegetables. Now what I'm going to do is add half a pack of thyme and a couple of bay leaves. And we're going to cook that for 2 minutes and let that flavour just infuse into the veg for a bit. So I'll pop the lid back on. So we'll wait for that to get up to 2 minutes and then we'll add some more ingredients. Right, okay, so these have been frying for a couple of minutes with the thyme and the bay leaves. So what I'm going to do now, just pop that down there for a minute. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce. And hear that sizzling really nicely. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. Really simple and easy, this recipe. Give that a bit of a stir. Mix in with all of those veg and herbs. Okay, now what I'm going to do is add 600 ml of boiling water and a couple of stock pots. So I've got the no rich beef stock pots here, but you know, you can use whichever ones you prefer, or stock cubes. It doesn't have to be a stock pot. I just find the flavour of these that little bit richer. So again, this is why I've not added any extra salt, because these are pretty salty on their own. I will add some pepper now though. Obviously just do this to taste. You can always add more later if you feel like you need it. So I'll give that a stir. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the beef with the juices back to the pot. Give that a good mix. Now remember, because we cooked the beef with a tablespoon of flour, that will help to thicken the sauce as it cooks as well. And you can always add some corn flour at a later stage if you want to thicken it more, but we'll see how it turns out at the end. I don't usually have to do that. Okay, so now what I want to do is turn it to slow cooker, don't I? So I'm going to stop that, stop the saute section, and I'm going to go to slow cook. I'm going to keep it so low or high. I'm going to keep it on high. Do I set the timer? Right, so it's a minimum of 6 hours and it goes up in 15-minute increments. So let's set it for 8 hours. Get the lid back on. Remember, we want the hole to be facing away from your face so that the steam doesn't come out. And I'm going to press start and then rest the spoon up there. I'll probably give that a wash actually, but that is it. So hopefully that's now going to be cooking just as well as my other slow cooker does. In 8 hours we should have a nice beef stew. Yeah, that was really easy to do it all in one pot rather than have to get a load of extra dishes out and use the hob. Yeah, let's see how it turns out. Right, so I'd set the temperature to high to start with, and then I've just been out doing running some errands, come back, it seemed a little bit too hot. I don't know if you can look in now. I've turned it down now to low because it was bubbling away quite strongly. So yeah, I've turned it down to low. We'll see how that goes. I can always turn it up again if I like, but yeah, the high temperature really does get it bubbling. Yeah, so we've got 4.5 hours left. We'll be keeping an eye on it. It's been going for about 4 hours, well, 3.5 hours so far. So yeah, we'll keep an eye, but it's smelling really lovely. Right, so this has been on for just under 7 hours now, so I think it's looking done. That looks really good, doesn't it? It's still really nice and juicy. Carrots are really soft, beef looks really soft. So I'm going to turn it off now, even though it's a little bit early, because I don't want it to lose its juices. I think that's going to be soft enough and tender. I didn't realise how hot this was going to get on the high setting. It's obviously a lot hotter than my usual slow cooker. So yeah, I mean, to think I could do it in possibly half the time I would usually do, I don't really know. That's really good. But yeah, so we're going to take these herbs out now, take the thyme sticks out and the bay leaves, and then we'll get it all dished up. Okay, so I'm just going to press the stop button, and then I think it will keep it warm. What I can do, there we go. I can put it down to that keep warm just until we finish the mash, and we can do it like that. Right, so the mash is done. I'm going to turn this off now, so I've been keeping it warm. So I'm just going to turn that off now. Let's have a look inside. That's looking really good. It smells yummy. Just spoon a load on. We've done enough for a family of 4, but obviously you can add what you like. We've just done it with a side of broccoli and some buttery mash, but that is really, really good. It looks maybe even, I don't know if it looks any better than the slow cooker that I usually use, but I think it could definitely do it in a quicker amount of time. But that is piping hot. It's really nice and juicy. The beef, when I was stirring it, is falling apart. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
So we do hope you've enjoyed our unboxing and first use of the Ninja Possible Cooker. That beef was absolutely delicious. The stew, really nice. Can't fault it, really did a very good job. When it comes to cleaning and maintenance, every part of it is dishwasher safe, apart from the main base unit down here, for obvious reasons. Now, to clean that, you unplug it and you would use a damp cloth to wipe that off. Although the rest of it is dishwasher safe, they do recommend hand washing the cooking pot to extend the life of it. And obviously on the inside, don't use anything abrasive, because on the inside we have a non-stick element, don't we? So do be careful with that. Do you have this machine? Are you thinking of buying it? Let us know in the comments if you've got any recipe ideas for us or tips. We always enjoy hearing that. Please do give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. That helps us out a lot on the channel. Subscribe to the channel as well for more Ninja products and different things. Look at our old products as well. We've reviewed quite a few Ninja items now on the channel. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Bye for now.